the basic issue is when does human life begin? And I'm going to just ask you guys that question. I'm going to ask, well, why not Giovanni first? Well, how would you respond? Because that's going to come out for sure. When does human life begin?
Well, obviously the scientific response would be that human life begins like fertilization, like when a sperm and an egg are joined and like an embryo is formed. A lot of people tend to dismiss embryos as being not human and simply embryos, but this kind of almost seems to group all embryos and all fetuses as like a species in themselves. But it's not fair to say that like all embryos are a species. Like embryo is not a species. Like an embryo has specific characteristics and like forms into a specific species. And if the sperm is like a human sperm and the egg is a human egg, then it is indeed a human embryo. People often tend to like just generalize embryos as like an entity in themselves without like having any regard for like the specificity of each individual embryo. So I think you have to take a lot of consideration.
Right, exactly. Like they say it's just a fetus,
Right.
but it's a human fetus.
Right.
And a fetus is just literally a young one. It's a little human being.
Right.
And so scientists, embryologists have just coined that term because it reminds you of a little tiny baby. Because it looks like a little tiny human being, and it looks like one because it is one. Right? Yeah.
I think it also a lot of it has to do with the fact that like an embryo or a fetus doesn't have a face, and people are often like sympathetic to like facial like human characteristics that they generically associate with like people that are in the world, because while a fetus is like less developed than like an adult, to be fair, you could also say the same about like a newborn, but the same people who say it's just a fetus wouldn't also be saying it's just a newborn, despite the fact that both are indeed like less adults than an adult itself. So you have to take that into consideration as well.
Yeah, that's true.